The Dodgers split the series with the Rockies. That's a good thing considering they had to win today to do that. So they did that, and they were happy about it. We're going to talk about the series, whether or not it was a bad one. We're going to talk about Michael Conforto hitting cleanup, and maybe it's time for enough Michael Conforto on the Dodgers. All that and more. We got voicemails. We got your chat, thoughts, reactions, overreactions, whatever you want here on this edition of All Dodgers. And at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. We hit a few mans because we are happy today. The Dodgers did win a baseball game. Joining me today is my buddy, my pal, my right of the screen man, that is Jeff Snyder. Give him a follow at Snydog on the Twitter, and Jeff J. Snyder on the Instagram if you want to do that. But we talk about the Dodgers here on the internet. We tend to do it every single day these days, and with the Padres series coming up, we're going to be talking about all of those games over the weekend and whatnot, and maybe we could take a little bit of a mental break after that. But Jeff, Dodgers won. You got to be feeling a little bit better, right?
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned yesterday, no matter what happens, this is officially a disappointing series. Yep. You split with the worst team in baseball. You lose ground to the Padres. It's a bad series. But once the Dodgers lost 2 of the first 3 games, the best they could do is split. And they split in relatively decisive fashion. You know, that some of the nobody relievers gave up some runs at the end. But all in all, it was a pretty non-stressful win. For the Dodgers. We got some good offense from the people we would expect, some good offense from a couple people we wouldn't expect, some lack of offense from one guy we would expect that from, and Clayton Kershaw. You mentioned yesterday, Clayton Kershaw pitching in Colorado always makes you nervous, not in a negative way about Kershaw, makes you nervous for Kershaw because Colorado is a stupid place to have a baseball team, and we've seen too many times Clayton Kershaw being the victim of that stupidity. And today, a little bit. I mean, he couldn't get through the 6th inning, but all in all, a Coors Field quality start for Kershaw. Not an official quality start, but Coors quality, and gets another win, gets him one step closer to Don Sutton's Dodgers record if he wants to come back next year and chase that, But, all in all, today went as well as it could after how much the first couple of days of the series sucked.
Yeah. I mentioned this earlier on Dodgers territory with Alana. Like, I really liked the way the offense kind of they battled. They actually had some good at bats. There was can't think of the word that I used earlier, but they executed. They actually. I'm sure they have a plan every day, but it felt more so like they executed today, potentially more so than other days. I don't know. Then again,
I think the plan is try to get a hit, and sometimes the pitcher wins. Like it's kind of like yesterday when we were talking about like when you're losing, it looks like you're not motivated because losing is not fun. I think when you get out, it looks like you didn't have a plan when really you had a plan. You just didn't execute it. It's like you're trying to get a hit, and sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
And then the next guy behind you.
Almost always you don't.
Guys, this is a show that's part of the Bleav Network of podcasts, by the way, presented by FanDuel. We appreciate our sponsor, our presenter, whatever you want to call it. I will present myself for FanDuel or something like that. But guys, sound off in the comments. As I said at the top of the show, let me know. We want to know both how you guys feel about this series. I do have the voicemail hotline open if you want to call in, 562-373-4095. It's Thursday. Please keep your voicemails clean. We're not going to have our spicy Saturday show this week because we're doing a post game, but we will also do voicemails after the Padres series on Monday. So get your thoughts in that way if you want to verbalize your thoughts. But quickly continuing to touch on the series. I don't think we need to stay on it for too long, but like it says, so you split with the Rockies. That's what it says on the screen, and they say you play to go 500. You play to split on the road, but just not against the Rockies. I really don't like doing that against the Rockies. And you looked at the 4 pitchers that the Rock Show had going up against the Dodgers. They all they had ERAs touching 8. At the bare minimum touching 7. They were a bunch of bad pitchers. and the Dodgers lost 2 of these games in very miserable ways. I don't know if today qualified as another angry win, but it seemed, again, like, I don't know if it's a more focused thing.
Score 8 runs in the first 4 innings. That's an angry win. They treated Chase Dolander like the Chase Dolander he is. I do honestly, I do believe Chase Dolander is going to eventually be a very good pitcher because he's got really good stuff. So once he gets out of Colorado and refines his stuff, I think he's going to be good. But right now, with his current level of command and execution, this is how the Dodgers should treat him. I like Matty Man Dodge's comment earlier, said the offense was much better today than I thought they'd be. Good on them. And this kind of underscores the point I was making yesterday that this Dodgers offense, even with, today, Michael Conforto batting cleanup. Yesterday, like yesterday's game, I said this lineup should have been good enough to score runs to beat this team. And they didn't score runs yesterday. But today what we saw is, you can have a bad hitter or two in your lineup and still score. They sat Shohei Ohtani and Teoscar Hernandez today, and they scored 8 runs in the first 4 innings, scored 9 runs overall, because there's so much depth and length in this lineup that this is what they should be able to do, which is part of why I don't stress too much about lineup construction or even having a bad player in the lineup a lot of the time, because there should be plenty to make up for it. But obviously, if you have 9 good players in your lineup, your chances of scoring are even better than if you only have 6 good players or whatever.
Would you say good players, living players?
I wouldn't, but I suspect that you might.
Definitely. Every second, every moment I get the opportunity, even the moments where the opportunity is not obvious, I'm going to go with that one. We do have some friends joining us in the chat here. BC is in the chat. Daniel Barry Sports Highlights in the chat. Pinsanity in the chat. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us here. Mike in the chat. Doom Sal, if you're nasty. He of course, covers the minor leagues very, very well, and it was getting us all the latest on Hyeseong Kim, who we'll be talking about a little bit later on in the show. But to pin this Rockies talk and this series talk, I love the way Kershaw kind of ended his interview, his post-game scrum. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. This is the last series in Colorado. They only have 3 more against that bad team altogether, but they don't have to go back to Colorado anymore this year. And I am grateful for that, because I hate that place so much.
Yeah, it's a terrible, it's ridiculous that they have it's a beautiful stadium. If you're a Rockies fan, I'm not criticizing your stadium. I'm criticizing the fact that your stadium exists. Yeah. So, once they made the decision to put a team there, great job, guys. You built a good stadium. If it was angled a couple degrees so that the first baseman could see in the first 3 innings of a game, that would be even better. But, overall, it's a beautiful stadium that shouldn't exist.
Yeah. I mean, it can exist. It just doesn't need to exist there. Just maybe not at mile high.
My brain's
elevation.
coming up with so many terrible analogies that I'm not going to say out loud. But when we're done, I'll tell you. Okay, Clint?
Oh, I'm very happy with that one. Michael asking, where is Kevin's kitchen? He's not here tonight. It should be me and him tomorrow night, unless Jeff can also join. We'll figure that one out. But Kevin had a thing tonight, he mentioned. But he's around.
Kevin had something going on.
And he's alive.
Tomorrow it'll probably just be you and Kevin. Tomorrow's my anniversary, mine and my wife's. I don't have an anniversary by myself. I guess that would be my birthday, but no, tomorrow's mine and my wife's anniversary, and it's our Kershaw anniversary because it's our 22nd. So on the 22nd, so it's a special day. So I am not going to podcast tomorrow, but then I believe Saturday and Sunday post games will be all 3 of us. Yeah. So we will have
Saturday. I won't be here. Saturday I scheduled myself to where I'm going with friends for the purpose of being at a baseball game and drinking. We are seeing Cubs at Angels.
Oh, okay. So just me and Kevin on Saturday, all 3 of us on Sunday. That's right.
Yeah, unless I drunkenly pop in on my phone or whatever. But, yeah, guys, the Dodgers are done in Colorado. They head to San Diego with a 1-game advantage in the NL West because, Padres took care of business against the Giants, or the Giants did not take care of any sort of business against the Padres. And as we love to do, we got to check the latest FanDuel odds. Thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring all Dodgers here, part of the Bleav Network of podcasts. And Jeff, I don't want to alarm you, but those odds keep getting tighter and tighter when you're looking at the National League Western Division. Dodgers still slightly favored. I don't know if we call it slightly, but minus 230 on the odds, and the Padres closing in plus 175. I will really want these numbers to get bigger, further apart in the good ways after this weekend is over.
Yeah, these betting odds reflect where they're at in the standings, and yeah, it's a one game lead for the Dodger right now. It's effectively a 2-game lead because the Dodgers do have the tiebreaker. So if they did finish tied, the Dodgers would win the division. But you also have the fact that right now the Dodgers are a couple games behind the Phillies for that number 2 seed, which would mean even if the Dodgers win the division, as of right now, they would still be playing a wild card series. Now it would be against the 6th seed, whoever the worst wild card team is. But the Dodgers don't want to play that series, and so I've got my eye on the Padres, but I've also got my eye on the Phillies. I want the Dodgers. I kind of decided the Dodgers should just win the rest of their games. And then, because then we wouldn't have to worry about playing a wild card series.
I'll run that up the flagpole to Dave and see what he thinks about it. Because honestly, I think it's a really good idea on that one. But the wild card. I really hope we don't need to look at the state of the wild card. I do fear at some point we're going to have to. But hopefully we don't have to, like on Sunday or whatever, because that would really suck a load of the butts, as people say, or at least as I say.
I don't think people say that.
Hey, listen. Sometimes they do when you're just trying to use words to transition to your next talking point. Guys, the Dodgers won, and that was despite their wonderful cleanup hitter. Sorry, I don't know. Hitter, I feel like insinuates that they can hit. Batter, like dude who. He only accounted for 4 outs in his 4 at bats, but
actually 5 outs because the sac fly wouldn't have counted as an at bat. So if he was 0 for 4, he had 5 plate appearances.
He had a sac fly.
Yeah. He had the line drive to center field that Bretton.
That's right.
Sliding catch on. So yeah, he had a whole RBI. Only made 5 outs. Didn't hit into any double plays, and had an RBI. And by Michael Conforto standards, that's a good game.
Hall of Fame, baby. On a Hall of Fame trajectory, Michael Conforto. If he can get an RBI, I don't want to even entertain the joke of this. Enough Michael Conforto is where we're at. He's awful. He's bad. He's the worst. He's 0 for 4 today, batting cleanup. Did have an RBI sac fly. That's something, but...
Only struck out twice.
Twice.
At least once with bases loaded. I don't remember the other one. I kind of... I know one of them was with bases loaded. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's down to 186 on the season batting average and a 612 OPS. I really loved this from Dodgers Andrew on Twitter. I love this because he was batting cleanup today, and of course people are going to think that it's spite from Dave. It's like, oh yeah, I'll show you. I'll bat him cleanup.
And in a way, he did show us. He said, look, we still scored 9 runs even with our worst hitter batting cleanup. You're going left, right, and when you look at it, with who was in the lineup today, it's either him or Rushing or Freeland batting cleanup if you want to stick with the left, right. And so, I guess not a lot of great options there for who's going to bat cleanup. Personally, I'd probably say, all right, well, let's go ahead and abandon the left, right then for one day. But again, lineup construction doesn't matter a whole lot.
I'm very good with the idea of that, of abandoning it, because he should just be hitting 9th if he's going to be in the lineup. I don't think he needs to be in the lineup, but that's my thought on it. And down to 125 in August, and Jeff, you had mentioned before we went live, today is the 1-year anniversary of the Dodgers DFAing Jason Hayward, who was having, by all count, like every metric, a better season than Michael Conforto. Better defender, of course, being a Gold Glover, 682 OPS. And a 90 weighted runs created plus at this point in a smaller sample size, of course. He missed some time with injuries, and he didn't get as many plate appearances as Conforto has this year, which honestly makes it worse. That Conforto continues to be in this friggin' lineup. So I noticed today on the Patreon, sorry, on the Discord, I feel like, I mean, not to say you've been defending him, but I feel like you're even more done than you've been in the past.
I've been done for a while. I think I've only defended him in people's minds because it's more the fact that I don't know if they've decided that Ryan Ward isn't the answer, and apparently they have, and we don't know why. But once you've decided Ryan Ward isn't the answer, there's not really that many other options right now because, you could bench him and put Justin Dean in center field. That definitely isn't going to be a big improvement offensively. It would be an improvement defensively. Justin Dean, clearly they don't think of him as a major league hitter. And that's probably because he's not a major league hitter.
Yeah.
And so with the Dodgers' current health situation, it's not like there's that many other options. And so it's like, well, I guess until we have better options, let him keep trying and see, maybe he remembers how to hit. I don't Bleav that he's going to Bleav how to hit.
He's a bat haver or bat owner, says Scott in the chat. Appreciate Scott.
But it's just like people are coming back, and maybe this is a good time to transition into talking about Hyeseong Kim because Kim played left field tonight in Oklahoma City. And maybe that was just because of who else they had in the lineup, but it's let's read the super chat.
There's some smoke to it for sure. But Francisco Diaz with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, good sir, for supporting the show. We appreciate the hell out of you. And Kim starting in left field for Oklahoma City. He's 2 for 3 so far today. He did have a clean single to right field the first at bat. Haven't seen the second at bat yet. But we're looking at a direct replacement if you're talking about a lefty needing to take the lefty spot on the roster. If you're looking at Michael Conforto, saying, listen, if the baseball gods can be kind to us, and Hyeseong Kim could be anything close to. I mean, I don't expect him to be a dude who's hitting 380, but be something better than you were for the final couple of weeks. If the shoulder was messed up, get it right, and enough Michael Conforto. All of a sudden, Hyeseong Kim is the dude. I love this. I love him coming back. Also, it's worth pointing out, I thought I had saved it, but Kike Hernandez at the same time playing well tonight. I think he was starting in center. Has a couple of hits coming off of a 2-hit performance yesterday as well in AAA. There you go. Doom Sal saying Kike 2 for 3 with 2 ribbies while playing center field tonight. You have options in-house immediately, and so we get into if these people come back, these are good ifs to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's 4 guys coming back. You got Edman, you got Hyeseong Kim, Kike, and Muncy. By the end of the season, we're hoping those 4 guys are coming back. And so if you look at the current roster, when those 4 guys come back, no matter how you play it, there's no room for Michael Conforto.
Yeah.
Because yes, Buddy Kennedy, easy axe. First position player to come back. Buddy Kennedy, so long, farewell. And then Justin Dean is probably one. But then even if you axe Alex Freeland before you axe Conforto, there's still. I mean, after that, there's no other 4th option. Conforto isn't going to be. He doesn't fit in the plans this off season or this postseason. Yeah. And we're talking about Hayward. The reason the Dodgers cut Hayward when they did last year was to do him a solid because they knew he wasn't a part of their postseason plans. And so they had to cut him before September so that he could catch on with another team. He ended up, I Bleav, playing in the postseason with the Astros.
He did.
And so that they had that respect for Hayward. I don't know that they feel the same obligation towards Michael Conforto. He doesn't have, not like Hayward is a longtime Dodger, but he was a 2-year Dodger, right? And so,
of course, Freddie Freeman's BFF,
best friend. And so all those things, they don't have the same moral obligation towards Conforto, which might be why he sticks around longer, because they don't care if he catches on and gets a chance to play in the postseason with some other team. And so, they're waiting until because right now it's like, okay, if you DFA Conforto today, you call up Estieri Ruiz, who isn't a major league hitter, and not even not a great defender, better defender than Conforto probably, but I mean he's not a major leaguer, and so it's like, and so I kind of get it, and this is where people think I'm defending him. I think I get it that he's on the roster, so I guess let him bat against righties and see if he runs into something, but all in all, I think Alex Call has a chance to make that moot and say, look. I mean, Call got a start against a right-hander today, and he did well. So, Call definitely doesn't hit righties as well as he hits lefties. He, for some reason, his walk rate is a bunch higher against righties, and so his OPS is close, but his batting average is 57 points lower coming into today anyway. He doesn't hit righties as well, but if he hits them well enough, plus you throw in the better defense, I mean, Alex Call could make it an easier point right now and just say, all right, let's go ahead and drop him. And if you don't want to call up Estuary Ruiz, when you DFA Conforto, you got an extra 40-man spot. And so, call up a different infielder or whatever. There's options.
It's funny you mentioned Call because I talked a lot more about him on DT earlier today. One, it was very peculiar to me. It was like almost I didn't know how to handle it, seeing a right fielder make plays. It just seemed very weird. At least a right fielder that was wearing a Dodgers uniform this year, not being named Andy Pages. But, yeah, he had a clutch 2-out ribby in this one. His first 21 at-bats with the Dodgers, looking at my notes from DT. First 21 at-bats, only had 3 hits. And, of course, he finds something magically in Colorado, 6 hits over his last 10, which is pretty dang good. Of course, fueled by that 4-hit game. But, if he is somebody who adds to that pile, and this is what we were saying at the trade deadline, just get a bunch of options that can be competition. If it is Kim, cool. If it's Michael or if it's Alex Call, cool. It's not going to be Mike Conforto at this point. Kike Hernandez, we know a lot of most of us, not Jeff necessarily, but most of us believe in postseason Kike, and there is a spot just sitting out there waiting for him to play left field. Presuming.
For the record, I am less confident in postseason Kike superpowers than you. Not that I don't believe, I'm just less confident than the rest of you. I don't think it's a sure thing. Man. But yeah, three of those 4 guys coming back.
Kike Hernandez. You guys heard that verbatim.
Three of those 4 guys coming back can play outfield. Mm-hmm. Edman, Kim, and Kike can all play outfield, and so there's. And even when you were talking to Doc earlier this week, and you asked him specifically about Conforto, it was as close to a criticism as Dave Roberts is going to get publicly of one of his players. What he said was, that's up to Michael. Mm-hmm. He said Michael needs to earn the playing time. And so I see some people in the chat saying Conforto is going to play in the postseason. Only if he's earned it. Only if somehow between now and then he remembers how to hit. Because when even Dave Roberts, who it would have been such an easy answer for Dave to say, we believe in Michael. He's a great hitter, and he's been through some tough times, but we expect to see him out there in left field. He didn't say that, and it was he didn't rule him out, but he said it's up to him. And the fact is, everything that Michael Conforto has done so far this year has said, please replace me with a good player, a living player.
My man. So proud of you. I'm so damn proud of you. They like to tell us that, when you're a Dodger, when you're on this roster, when you're in the organization, that it's a meritocracy and that you can earn your way to playing time. The deeper we get into this Shohei Ohtani era in particular, the less true that is. If you're a shiny veteran, you're probably going to get as much leash as possible. But, at the end of the day, last year I saw a lot more out of the front office and Doc when it comes to, Jason Hayward being DFA'd, getting to the postseason and kind of riding the hot hands when needed. They pulled out all the stops to win that championship last year. And I think an easy stop to pull out is pulling Mike Conforto at the bare minimum out of the starting lineup, but he needs to be probably off the roster, because even if Hyeseong Kim isn't as good of chances are we can be better hitters than Michael Conforto. But if it is at a point where Alex Call gets that spot or Kike Hernandez gets that spot, Hyeseong Kim is a much more dynamic human being and player to be on the 26-man roster for the postseason. I did want to get to a few folks in the chat. We'll continue, the health and injury updates, more Conforto bashing and all of that kind of stuff coming up soon. Of course, also voicemails coming up in a second, but I saw this earlier just before we went live. Kevin McNally joined us on the Patreon page. We appreciate Kevin for supporting the show, and he went above and beyond. He also became a member here on YouTube there is a 99-cent tier where you get the emojis. I have a butt ton more emojis, which is a quantifiable metric. I have a whole bunch more that I have to upload, but YouTube is like, no, it needs to be very teeny tiny to upload them, so I got to do some things to make them better. But either way, you get the emojis, Kevin. We appreciate you hanging out with us, people in the chat giving him some love, Manny Man, and IB Strokin giving him some love. Also, IB Strokin, who celebrating 13 months of being a member of the channel. Thank you very much for being just awesome, dude. Love that guy. But it's a shout out all the new viewers and channel members. Channel subscriptions come with access to the All Dodgers Discord server, and we'll see you there. Guys, just do what he said. Sign up on Patreon. Click that join button here on YouTube to support the show, for one, and get access to a really, really cool growing community of Dodgers fans as we get closer and closer to postseason time. I can't believe there's only 7 weeks left.
Yeah, less than that.
6 weeks left.
Like 5.5, I think.
Math isn't my forte.
Yeah, we got a couple more super chats, don't we?
I see Doug Payne sent a $2. It just says.
And he actually has a comment. His next comment says, "Oh shoot! First super chat, I forgot the message." So he says, "What's the deal with the limited Benny Caps usage lately?" That's his super chat message. So I figured I'd get that up there. Yeah, I think they've decided that Kasperius is most effective as a 1-inning reliever, or even less. Like we see, he's a fireman. He comes in to shut down innings, and I think partly because they did play with him as a long reliever and as a starter, I think it's also a way to limit his pitch count and his inning count a little bit, because now, like today, he just came in and got that third out, right?
Yeah.
And so it's more of a play. He can come in, just get one out, and say, all right, I contributed to a win, while also keeping him more fresh for October, because I think he's a big part of their October plans. Right-handed arm out of the bullpen, and I think that's probably the main explanation for that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, they rode him pretty hard in the early parts of the season. He is still a rookie. This is his first full season pitching in relief, so letting him kind of reacclimate back into the bullpen, and let's be fair, he was kind of going through it for the better part of about a month and a half after they moved him to the starting rotation, air quotes, and then they kind of didn't move him to the starting rotation. Then it became a whole thing. I could have sworn I saw another chat. Richie has some thoughts about Conforto. Says might as well go up to the plate with a rolled up newspaper in hand. He's as useless as Manny Machado at a moral values convention.
Or a Morel value, Christopher Morel values.
Yes. Cubs legend.
Yeah, he's on the Braves now, right?
Yes, it is the Braves. Rays, there you go. Sorry, they all look the same, baseball teams. Beyond the news about Kike Hernandez, who Dave said is probably back next week, maybe during that the upcoming Red Series, where World Series hero and champion Gavin Lux returns to Dodger Stadium for the first time. And by the way, looking at those the wild card standings right now, the Reds are a half game behind the Mets for that final spot in the National League, which is insane. And I'm here for it. I really dig that Reds team. I don't want them to be good or, win. But them being better than the Mets, I mean, imagine the Mets going from the NLCS to signing Juan Soto to not making the wild card.
Yeah, the Reds actually have a better run differential than the Mets. They're
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, wow. But beyond that, another name we are getting back, we in the royal sense, Dodgers are getting back Tanner Scott tomorrow, who our buddy Casey over at Dodgers Daily, of course, does really, really good stuff here on the YouTube. Not enough people watch Casey. I want people to go over and watch Casey's stuff. He gets a crap ton Everything is doo-doo related when it's coming to metrics tonight, apparently. So I apologize to people who don't like fecal matter. But he gets a bunch of exclusive interviews from players down at Tulsa and AAA, and overall just a solid dude to talk ball with. But Tanner Scott is coming back. He'll be activated tomorrow after throwing, I think it was just the one rehab outing at Oklahoma City.
It might have been, yeah.
This is huge, but you see some of the numbers there that Casey put in his tweet that Scott was averaging 96 to 98 on the fastball with the spin rate touching 2,800. As he says, insane. And the slider was also quite exceptional. Jeff, we were talking a little bit before the show about that, that tweet and the idea of Tanner Scott coming back. And obviously, people might not be the biggest fans of Tanner Scott, but they paid this dude a lot of money to be a back end of the bullpen kind of arm. And if he can come back and be a weapon, be an honest, true closer for this team, and just everybody moves down, that is huge. That is huge. Do you think this rest and maybe kind of a little bit of a reset could help him here in the final month plus?
I absolutely do. I believe Tanner Scott is going to be huge for this team. I've even through all his struggles, I've believed it. And I think that getting this break, and getting a chance to rest up, get fully healthy, whatever it was, I don't know if there was something nagging at him. And that's why, because the stuff has been pretty good, down a tick or two from last year, but a lot of it's just been command issues. And we saw in the past his command issues manifested in walks, and this year they manifested themselves more in pitches down the middle. And so I think Tanner Scott has great stuff, and I'm excited. I do think he's going to be a big part of this Dodgers bullpen in October. I am very excited about him coming back.
Yeah, you look at some of the names in that bullpen today. They had Matt Sauer. Thanks for stopping by. You were bad, and you made Dave have to turn to Alex Vesia when it would have been a lot better to not have to do that. And Vess ended up throwing 25 pitches, pretty much ruling him out of being available in Game 1 of the series tomorrow. So to get Scott back, and then you still have Jack Dreyer in that bullpen, but now you start trending towards a lot of the how does the bullpen kind of shake out when you start to get some adults back in the room with him coming back, when you start to I think Kirby Yates is due back on Saturday. Who else is potentially available? Maybe a Roki Sasaki in the postseason if they like.
Bobby Miller, I think, is probably the most likely other one. Just because of where he's at. But yeah, right now,
so funny to say, like, Bobby is an option potentially.
Yeah, but Tanner Scott coming back tomorrow. The obvious, easy answer is you send Matt Sauer back down. I believe this will be his 5th option of the year, which means that Matt Sauer is not coming back. He's not allowed to come back to the big leagues this year after they send him back down tomorrow, which I guess could be a reason they keep him around, except for the fact that he's bad. I like Matt Sauer. But I don't think he is ready to contribute to a World Series championship this year. Yeah. And so I think he's going back down tomorrow. That's the easy one. After that, then it gets harder because everybody else who's currently in the big leagues is a reasonably effective and important part of that bullpen.
Yeah.
And the ones who, like, only a few of them have options. I think Kasperius and Edgargo and
Robleski, yeah. And this is the tough part about having a 6-man starting rotation. Of course, Shohei Ohtani doesn't count against that the 13 pitchers you're allowed to carry, but all of a sudden there's a lot of dudes in there, and everybody else. There's a lot of them that belong. Like Jack Dreyer isn't going anywhere. Kasperius isn't going anywhere. Henriquez is probably the dude.
Dreyer and Kasperius, if they want to give them a rest, limit their workload a little bit before the postseason, they could option them for 15 days.
They could.
And just not even send them to AAA, option them to the Arizona League and just say, don't even leave the team. You're just off the roster. You're technically in the minor leagues, and you are just getting 2 weeks off, which then would bring them back with 3 weeks left in the season, plenty of time to, that's a possibility.
It's a possibility, but it also sounds like you're starting to, tippy toe towards, getting the players union really upset at you for costing, a couple of rookies who didn't do anything to get sent down,
Yeah, I
service
don't
time.
think there's anything the union can do. I don't think getting sent to the minors has to be a performance thing. It's a, I mean, we see it all the time. Guys
Yeah, that's
getting
fair.
sent off for a ton of reasons, and it's they obviously it's better for the players' checkbook if they fake an injury than send them
Yeah.
to the minors, but because then at least you get big league pay while you're on the IL. But all in all, yeah, I obviously I think Robleski is the one who makes the most sense. Robleski or Edgargo,
Yeah.
one of those guys going down when Yates comes back.
I had it as a potential talking point a couple days ago, but Henriquez is suddenly looking pretty dang good.
I like him a lot.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have 103-mile-an-hour fastball, it's like, oh, Mom, I want Mason Miller. Honey, we have Mason Miller at home. The dude's got nasty stuff, and if his little banishment to AAA for a little while for kicking something and breaking his toe, maybe helped him grow up along with being a few months older. Anytime you could have 103 in the bullpen and knowing that Brusdar Gratterall is feeling more and more unlikely to come back this season, I think after Sauer, Robleski is the least used dude in that bullpen, and I would rather see him getting regular starts at AAA and keeping the pitch count built up rather than just hanging out in the bullpen and maybe getting an out because they're not doing the piggybacking with Shohei anymore, and everybody's been pretty, for the most part, knock on desk, pretty good in the starting rotation. So that's the one that probably makes the most sense. I would imagine Robleski before Dreyer or Kasparius are touched.
Yeah, definitely as far as what they're contributing to the team right now. It's funny, everybody calls Edgardo Baby Bazooka. Reminds me of back when the Dodgers had Dennis Santana, who now apparently turned good this year. But I used to call Dennis Santana Thinly Jansen because he looked like a skinny Kenley.
I can see that.
Had the same facial hair and everything.
How did he finally figure it out, by the way?
I don't know.
And also, how did the Pirates hold on to Dennis Santana? I guess all the teams that probably could have used him, he had already pitched for them and kind of wore out a welcome.
I know what I like about Dennis Santana. This has nothing to do with anything. The dude is a very conscientious autograph giver. My boys at spring training handing him baseball cards, and he looks at the card and figures out what on this card, where should my autograph go? So there's one, he even turned it sideways and signed it sideways because that it looked the best on the card that way. It's pretty cool. If I had thought about it ahead of time, I would have pulled it out because I could have shown you guys on the screen, but just take my word for it. Dennis Santana gives good autographs.
It's fair. I wanted to force dirty things out of that, but I'm going to leave it alone. You are uniquely you, which is a name. It's all of those are you. Saying in the chat, agreeing with me. You were right, Clint. This chat is the best. Sorry, Alana, because I gave the DT chat some hell. But then again, on Dodgers territory, we try to stick to 30 minutes, and Alana and I have a good rundown of things we're going to talk about. We tend not to get... Also, she doesn't really know how the internet works sometimes. Love the lady. She doesn't know how the internet works sometimes. She's got a lot better over the 2 years we've been doing the show together at finding comments and all of that.
So apparently the age where you turn old is somewhere in the 2 years between when Alana was born and when I was born. Because I look old, but I know how the internet works, But
I mean, you are old.
It's true.
But you had to use the internet longer to make money. She just got to get by on talent.
Yeah. And it's weird to me that there are people in our Discord who are the age of some of my children.
And younger. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us on all of the places and all of the things. Speaking of the people and the stuff, this seems like as good a time as any to get to some of our voicemails that we got today. There's also one from Saturday that came in just after I left, and just after I ended the stream on Saturday, that I felt is still useful because it answers a question that some people might have. But first up on the voicemail hotline, I'm going to push a button for that. Oh, I'm bringing back this screen that actually has everybody's chat on there. Guys, be fair and reasonable in the chat. But anyways, here is Alexander Rose with some thoughts.
Alexander Rose, as you guys know. And I'm going to go on a 5-minute story like Richie would be proud of me. I'm not really, but I digress. Anyways, few
It's
things.
pretty good.
Dodgers win. That's good. Dodgers split a series against the Rockies. Yeah, it's about 50-50, so. The best thing to come out of this series is the breakout of Alex Call getting more comfortable. So we all know what to expect, right? Alex Call has a great game. He's going to be benched for the whole weekend. And Conforto will find a way to be in every single game against the Padres somehow, some way. And another thing, for Kershaw, man, if you were to tell me that Kershaw would be the best pitcher out of the last 4 games at Coors Field, I would say, of course, he's the GOAT. That's our king. But, again, I wish we could have done better in Coors. The Rockies, obviously, this is the closest they'll ever get to a World Series, so it's understandable that they needed to fight this much. Hopefully they do that against the Padres when they face them and not just roll over, but I digress. Anyways, guys, smash that like button for Clint, for Jeff, and for our producer, Kevin. They all do amazing work. And see ya. Bye.
Appreciate Alexander Rose calling in and leaving a voicemail, sharing his thoughts about this team, and of course some love, as you would expect, in there for Conforto, but more, not Conforto. Did he mention Conforto? Anyways, the important thing is Kershaw. We always need Kershaw, like Kershaw love.
There wasn't love for Conforto.
Yeah,
it was
that's
pessimism about him getting starts over Alex Call this weekend.
That is pretty fair. Let's see. We got another voicemail from Noah. As you know, let's hear what Noah has to say about this team after a split with the Rockies.
Well, guys, it's Noah, as you know. And I got to say, guys, this team is something else. So many possibilities in terms of where we could put them on the field. And so much, should I say, out of nowhere drama. Like freaking Mookie Betts going into a private meeting with Doc, which never existed, even though Jim Bowden said it did.
Oh, God.
And all of a sudden, getting swept by the Angels to sweeping the Padres, and now breaking even in this series with the Rockies. This year has been a mess. Honestly, this year, they better win the World Series because they don't want to waste Freddie's, Mookie's, or Ohtani prime years. And, dang, I'm only 27, but I feel like I'm growing gray hairs already. Anyways, that's all I gotta say, guys. Have a good rest of your day. You'll know my feelings on Mike Schilt, for now Tatis, Manny Machado, the Dodgers Stadium parking lot, and the Ghost Runner. So, see ya.
Appreciate Noah calling in.
I got feelings about Manny Machado, too. Right here.
If you guys missed it, there was a Manny Machado assassination on last night's stream. And
as I mentioned, this bobblehead, these legs are life size. That's the actual size of Manny's legs. And we have proof, Clint.
Hey, hit some leg day.
This is from a Padres fan telling Manny to hit leg day.
What is up with those? If you guys are listening on the podcast side and not watching,
picture the skinniest calves you've ever seen in your life, and then divide those by 2, and that's Manny Machado's legs.
Oh man, where is it? So I know we're past the whole thing with the meeting that wasn't the closed door meeting with a wide open door. Steve saying, when has Jim Bowden been right about anything? This is for me. This is me being selfish. I want a good Jim Bowden rant from Jeff.
Oh, yeah. You put me on the spot here. Let's see if I can come up. Well, he's the worst person in the world. Jim Bowden was the Reds GM. He got fired from that job for being a terrible, terrible GM. Think of the Reds back when they were just the worst run organization in baseball. That was Jim Bowden. So then he signs on with the Nationals. And they're getting ready to fire him for being terrible at his job. And then they discover, oh, by the way, he also defrauded Dominican teenagers out of their signing bonuses because in addition to being bad at his job, he's bad at being a person. And now he has a job where he talks about what other GMs should do, the ones who are good enough to have jobs right now. Hey, here's some advice. And guess what? They've never taken it because guess what? Real GMs look at what Jim Bowden thinks they should do and say, okay, well, that's an easy thing to cross off our list of possibilities. If Jim Bowden would do it, we're not going to do it because we're not idiots like Jim Bowden.
Listen, man, it's a part of the foul team, and it's honestly the most embarrassing part of me being associated with foul territory. I love the dudes, love all the people there. They do phenomenal stuff, bringing baseball to everybody. But the dude is just. I mean, I say a lot of dumb things online, but at least I am aware that they are dumb. I don't sit there with a smug look on my face being like, I've changed the world today.
And that hair. Like, I don't believe in attacking people's personal appearances, but that's mostly for things they can't control or can't control easily. He could control that hair.
Yeah.
Whether it's a toupee, if it's a toupee, he paid to look like that. If it's not a toupee, it's still a choice every morning, you know?
It's a 3-pay.
Whatever it is, like, it just don't. And
yeah, the whole thing.
As John Ralphio would say, he is the worst.
The worst. And one final thing on the meeting, the closed door meeting, and all of this, I got word from a source about the whole LA Times thing, and the push to get that narrative out came from above everybody that actually loves and cares for the sports section. Sometimes these people come in and they only worry about clicks and they only worry about being first on something. Just make sure you're first on something that is actually, it exists. It did
Clint
not
and
exist.
I have never had to deal with anybody who cares more about clicks and being first than about, other things, like whether or not Shohei's actually on the plane to Toronto.
Let me tell you something. If you guys want more thoughts on that, tune in next Thursday for our first members-only live stream. You have to be a supporter on Patreon or on YouTube members, but we're answering any and all questions you want within reason. We're not doing no weird wiener stuff. No reason to say any of that. There's just no reason. Anyways, we got another voicemail. This is from Roving Gambler calling in for the first time. Appreciate the voicemail here.
Hey, this is Old Man Roving Gambler here. I want to throw out for discussion a different look for the lineup. The Dodgers have 5 solid offensive and defensive players and 4 huge offensive holes. I think the focus on trying to optimize those 4 offensive holes is the wrong approach. Trying to get a 210 hitter to be in position to hit 230 by facing an oppo pitcher isn't going to help. Hashtag math, that's 2 hits per 100 at bats.
It's like math,
I
baby.
think the Dodgers should just face it that those 4 positions, 2 outfielders and 2 infielders, aren't going to do shit. Instead, they should take the approach of putting the best defensive team out there and help their pitching, become a pitching and defensive team, and rely on the top of the order to provide enough offense. Those guys have to come through for them to win anyway. So start protecting the pitch count by getting every possible out and stop having those precious arms from having to throw those extra unnecessary pitches because of poor defense. Miggy, Freeland, Call, and Dean, you're my starters until the injuries heal. And then still put out the best defense over a measly bullshit offense. Go Dodgers. Oh, and fuck Manny.
Whoa! How do I make it stop? I almost did.
Almost.
I didn't. Hey, listen, you guys know it's supposed to be clean. We appreciate the enthusiasm. But on the transcript, it just said F Manny. So that's where.
We'll pretend that's what he said.
Yeah.
But, I agree for the most part with what he's saying. And like my ideal outfield right now would be Justin Dean in center, Andy Pages in right, and Teoscar Hernandez in left, or Alex Call in center. If Alex Call isn't as good as Justin Dean in center, but if Alex Call is hitting, put it definitely against lefties, put him in there, but yeah, I agree with the concept that I just think I don't think it's really feasible to keep running out Teoscar and Conforto on the outfield corners.
Yeah.
And that, because that's a rough outfield. But the but that I'll put here is if the Dodgers' current roster was what they were going into October with, I would be in 100% agreement with him. Yes, let's focus on defense. But I think right now, knowing that guys are coming back, I think they do kind of want to put Alex Call in the best position to succeed by starting him mostly against lefties, and kind of have them playing the roles that they're likely to play in October, even though that means somebody who's not going to be in the plans for October, like Michael Conforto, continues to get at bats. It's just like, rather than having to shuffle again once guys come back, you say, okay, all we got to do is take out Conforto and plug in somebody who doesn't suck, and then we're good to go. I think that's probably the mindset, and I don't hate that mindset. I'm not saying it's the right one, definitely not the only right one, but I think that's probably the thinking is let's not mess with too many things when we have guys coming back.
Yeah, and exactly. I mean, and that's probably a big reason why they haven't gone, and pulled the Ryan Ward, not Ryan Ward. Is it Ryan Ward? Who's the guy we keep talking about? Yeah, the Ryan Ward lever or whatever. Because if he works out, now you have more dudes that you expect to get playing time somewhere, somehow, some shape or whatever. And the Dodgers are still in a very good, very advantageous position. They still have a division or a 1-game lead in the division. They're still favored to win the National League outright. If you're looking at FanDuel odds on that, which is something we don't really look at enough, the league winners, they are, it's not as guaranteed or whatever, but they are plus 195, the betting odds over on FanDuel, presenter, sponsor of the show, ahead of the Milwaukee Brewers at plus 380. Like, people still believe in this team, and they understand at some point in time those good players, living players, better players are going to take those spots of your Confortos, and ideally Teo does what Dave told me on Monday, and he's gonna focus up a little bit more defensively at the bare minimum in the bigger series and all that.
Hey, we got a Padres fan in the chat.
Oh, let's see, where's this at?
He's commented the same thing twice. I also saw him comment it last weekend, and Doug Davis says, just a reminder, if the Dodgers continue to hit Tatis, unintentional or intentional, Padres have 5 bullpen arms who could touch 100 miles an hour and could throw at Ohtani's head. Yes, Doug, we know they can because we've seen them throw at Ohtani intentionally twice after the Dodgers have never thrown at Tatis intentionally even once.
Yeah.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the only player in the Dodgers organization, the entire organization, who has ever hit Fernando Tatis with a pitch. The other guys who hit Tatis earlier this year aren't even on the team anymore, partly because they didn't have enough command to not hit guys with pitches. But wait, that Wiener has a Yankees logo as his.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
this guy's just a all-purpose crybaby.
Yeah, just a Dodgers hater.
Yeah, well, all right.
What do they call that? Rent-free?
I guess, and maybe didn't watch last weekend's series when the Dodgers didn't come anywhere close to hitting Tatis, and it was just regular baseball, and nobody was a crybaby, and they just played baseball, and the Dodgers won all the games. So,
Mike Schilt was really mad about that. He's like, oh, I want to be angry about something. I'll do this again. I wanted to address a couple of them. Dr. V in the chat, and also somebody else, Doug Payne, saying, whoops, what happened to vetting the voicemails, and something else about vetting the voicemails? Well, one, your boy ain't got all the time in the world to look through all of them, but at some point in time, you do have to have faith in Google Voice giving you a good transcription. And I thought he was playing by the rules of you can say F. And I think technically, like, we haven't shot down saying shit on the show. We prefer you not.
Literally just
it's
the actual F word.
And GDs.
And the GD.
That's it. That's all. That's what we've said. We've maintained for, since Jeff has joined. That's the only thing we ask people would, avoid. Because I saw OCJ saying that Roving Gambler said the S word and Jeff shot the dad look. Did you shoot him a dad look?
Not about the S word. No, I was having some thoughts about his general voicemail, but no, I don't swear. But my big thing is I know that there are some 9-year-olds who listen to the show with their dads, and specific 9-year-olds I know of, and so I don't want F-bombs on it. That's fine.
That's fair. Yeah.
You got to put History Man's comment up there because I got a talking to for him.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Not too far ago. Talking about Doug Davis says, oh yeah, that guy was on the Locked On Dodgers podcast, also repeating the same comments. History Man 0828. What are you doing knowing what's going on the Locked On Dodgers podcast? Young man.
He's about to take you outside. Let me get you a nice one shot. Shoot him the dad look. There it is. Oh yeah, it's an angry Jeff right there. We had one more voicemail. This one did come last Saturday after the show ended, and I usually, if it's that old, I wouldn't play it or whatever, but it seemed in the minuscule amount of vetting that I clearly do. It seemed like there was a couple of things in there that one thing in particular I wanted to address. So I'm going to play it and then we'll address it, and then we'll talk about the Padres, and then we'll get out of here.
Hey, Vince Casillas, you and Alana Rizzo. I really dig your podcast. I've been following the Dodgers since they were at the Coliseum. I like your insights. I really like the chemistry you have with Alana Rizzo. I was wondering what you're always looking up at while you're on, broadcasting with the other two guys. It looks like you're looking away, not really interested, and kind of upstaging the other guys. I was wondering what was up with that. But anyway, enjoy your podcast, your insight, and your baseball savvy. This is Dodger Don from beautiful Boyle Heights in Los Angeles. Keep up the good work, Clint. And Alana, I think he's got a crush on you. Bye now.
Well, what do you think about that, Alana?
Better her than me, I guess. You know?
Yeah, no. I love Alana. She's the best. She's the GOAT.
Clint's got another monitor up above his head. That's what he's looking up at.
Yeah, I have a bunch of screens. As Jeff will tell you, when you're trying to run a good, interesting version of these shows, you have a lot of different monitors doing a lot of different things. You have your show notes, so we're at least all trying to talk about the same things at the same time and not just doing a lot of ahs and ums and whatever, even though we still do a fair amount of ahs and ums. Case in point. Beyond that, I have up here tweets and things that I will use to get us imagery of Chicken Legs Machado if needed, or Roki Sasaki and some thoughts about that, or a headless Manny Machado on Jeff and all of that. So that's where...
Or just the head.
Just the head. That is Manny. That is a decapitated Manny Machado. But anyways, I just wanted to address that one.
Last night after we were done, I put it on a knife for a minute.
He did. Be careful. Knifing leads to forking. We usually don't get these, so I'll put this back up. We got a text, by the way, on Wednesday, which is yesterday, but the 918 asking, would love to hear our thoughts about adding free agent outfielder, old pal, Alex Verdugo. Saying that they have not kept up the recent stats, but offense and defense, and clubhouse. What do we think? Doogie hasn't really been good for a while, and I think the first run around in Dodger Blue, the clubhouse presence wasn't spectacular, and I wager to say that. Just reading and seeing some of the things about him, it's got worse over the years. But the most important thing is he's been really bad.
Yeah, Michael Conforto this year has an OPS, coming in today of 619. Alex Verdugo's is 585. So I think all we have to say is worse than Conforto, and that kind of says enough on Alex Verdugo. Hard feelings against the guy. I appreciate his contribution to the Dodgers World Series title last year in a couple ways, between Mookie Betts and striking out to end the World Series. Alex Verdugo did a lot for the Dodgers last year, and I appreciate that. But I definitely appreciate his contributions to the Dodgers that he's done outside of a Dodger uniform.
People wanted Doug Davis blocked, and Diane took care of that. So shout out to our fine moderators in the group and to Diane for doing that. And if we're talking about Diane, I should tell you guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. And I got this from Doug Payne saying he quit Locked On Dodgers the day they found out that they canceled you. I didn't know you were canceled.
Yeah, apparently,
I wouldn't call it that.
Depends on how you define it, but yeah, that's when I quit watching that show too. Although I will tell you, sometimes I turn on the episode and then exit out after 5 seconds because I know that they do have kind of an unhealthy obsession with the average duration viewed. And so it's a balancing act. I don't want to give them views, but I do kind of like that I'm dropping their average view time down a little bit. So,
he's not even slightly petty, guys. Don't worry. That's why we get along. We're all about that pettiness. Chen Collect Cards, by the way. Great name. give them a follow on social media. But they joined us as a member here. They are now a $5 friend of the show, supporter here on YouTube, members or part of our YouTube members. We appreciate the support from Chen. Collect cards with a K. I don't know how to pop that one up on the screen, so you'll just have to take my word for it. I can pop up Richie's $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Richie, saying, I am 100% counting on the Padres to lose control of their emotions in this series. Tatis is a spineless jellyfish. Don't crowd the plate. Hey, you don't want to get hit? Don't crowd the plate. And there's the perfect time to segue into, it's finally time for, Padres Dodgers Part 2, Electric Boogaloo, or SD Boogaloo. It should be a good one. It should be a spicy one. This is the final time these two teams meet in the regular season, if I remember correctly. And It's in San Diego. They're doing their geo-fencing. They're trying to keep Dodgers fans out of there. I did not verify it, but I heard, or I saw on somebody's chat on Dodgers territory earlier, the lesser chat, because the best chat is here on All Dodgers. Subscribe. Somebody said that they're doing rally towels during this series.
Yeah, so one of the games they're doing rally towel giveaway. So, yeah, good for them. It's kind of funny that they say, oh, we want to keep it only Padre fans, so you can only buy it if you live in these zip codes. And it's like, I guarantee you those zip codes have as many Dodger fans as Padre fans. Yeah. I grew up in one of those zip codes, and I went to high school in one of those zip codes. And the first time I met a Padre fan was when I moved to Utah and had a roommate who was a Padre fan, because he was from Utah. We didn't have a team, which might sometime soon, which maybe we'll talk about on another episode about potential expansion realignment and stuff. But the first time I ever met a Padre fan was after I moved out of one of those area codes. And now there's guys I went to high school with who I see going to Padre games on Facebook and stuff. It's like, you weren't admitting you were a Padre fan back then.
All of a sudden.
Congratulations, I guess, But yeah, lots of Dodger fans in those areas.
I like O'Donnell Boy's chat here. Manufactured playoff atmosphere. And you know what? I would fully agree with that 4 or 5 years ago. I got the burps. The fan base has got a lot better. They are actually in on the team. They're doing very well at selling out that ballpark. I saw somebody posting, I forget the account, but somebody posting like imagery of an empty-ish upper bowl at Petco, saying like these teams embellish their sold out games or whatever. All the places, all the ballparks go by tickets sold. So that's something, because Padres do the same thing with Dodgers. When Dodgers fans either you get some of the jerks who just buy the tickets for the bobbleheads and don't even go to their seats, or many of the people that are still fighting god-awful traffic around Dodger Stadium trying to get into the ballpark. So I don't care about visually seeing a bunch of players in the stands or whatever. But they are better. They are better than they were. That said, F the Padres. And you got a good series lined up. Blake Snell versus Yu Darvish, Tyler Glasnow versus old buddy Nestor Cortez. I think Nestor is going to get his World Series ring as well. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto against Nick Pivetta, who's having another quietly very good season.
The Dodgers did well against Pivetta earlier this year, didn't they?
Yes. And they got to do well again. Like, I really want to see, like, you got to win that Sunday game. You got to win the Snell game. And you shouldn't lose the Nestor Cortez game.
Yeah, back in June, Dodgers knocked him out after 4 innings, scored 5 runs, 4 earned against him, only 3 strikeouts in the 4 innings. Yeah, the 8 hits and 2 walks. So that hopefully that bodes well. I don't remember who did well against him in that game. Just looking at Freddie Freeman had a big game, went 3 for 5. Will Smith homered off of him. Ohtani and Freeman both doubled off of him. So, yeah, I mean, guys who are going to be in the lineup have done okay against him. I sure would love to see another sweep. Just coming into it. As long as the Dodgers don't get swept, they leave this series with at least a share of first place.
Yeah.
And having the tiebreaker, but, I mean, a series win, they really need a series win to come out at least 2 games up. If they can sweep, they're up by 4 games with no more head-to-heads for the Padres to make it up. I do think, I see there's a few more Padre fans in the chat. We probably need to pop Manny back up on the screen, let me just to make sure that they didn't miss.
Chicken legs. You see his
Manny
chicken legs?
Machado has chicken legs. And that is a tweet from a Padres fan. Love you, Manny, but you need to hit some leg days, man.
Listen, that is you Darvish simp, not just a Padres fan. That is you Darvish simp.
That dude is mayonnaise on an escalator.
Put some respect on that guy's name. But yeah, like, bro, come on, man. Find a way to get some calf meat on there. So I'm surprised he's been able to post, like 160.
His legs. You ever watch Gilmore Girls, Clint?
I cannot say that I have.
So there's an episode where they're doing a film festival at the Stars Hollow gazebo area, and Kirk, everybody's favorite character, Kirk, has a film. And in the movie, Kirk is played by what's his name? The actor whose brother, James Gunn's brother,
William Shatner.
Sean Gunn. And in this little film that he made on the show, at the end, he takes off his shirt and dances. And Kirk's body is what Manny Machado's calves look like.
Okay.
So if you're a Gilmore Girls fan, you'll get that reference. If you're not, I'm sorry, but
I didn't know if you were gonna explain it more with the hands. That's why I went to a one shot for you. But
yeah, I'm trying.
That's riveting stuff. I'm pretty sure.
I'm trying to find a picture of Kirk dancing, because once you see Sean Gunn, right? Because James Gunn is the director, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, Sean Gunn is Kirk.
Whoever actually plays the physical version of Rocket Raccoon, that is Sean Gunn.
Yeah, that's Kirk from Gilmore Girls, and without a shirt on, it is
actively seeing people leaving the chat. Actively
to go watch Gilmore Girls. Yeah,
nailed it. That's worth it.
I shot us in the foot. Told them there's something even better you could be watching right now.
Absolutely. Richie's going to be there at Petco Park this weekend for his birthday weekend. He's got his big birthday bash turning 60 next Saturday, where he says I'm not going to be there, so I guess I shouldn't be there, but I did get invited. I'm sure Jeff got invited. You also got invited to live in his house, I believe, when we had our last watch party. I'm not 100% certain. But hopefully Richie doesn't get in a fight or get arrested over there, because we know he can have his way with the words and with Padres fans. So prayers up, everybody! Hit that thumbs up button for Richie and making sure that he lives. I see
that you
have
the capability to pop a picture up on the screen.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. But hold on, give me a second. Because I have multiple Slack channels, so I have to go from not channels, but.
This isn't the dancing scene, but this is Kirk without a shirt on, in a sauna with Luke, and you can see what I mean about his body being the physical embodiment of Manny Machado's calves.
I promise we're almost there. It's super.
This is riveting podcasting.
This is phenomenal.
I don't know why people are leaving this show. You're about to get
phenomenal.
To see,
guys. Hit that like button.
Gilmore Girls.
Hit that subscribe button for all of this, whatever is happening here. But this is what he wanted.
That body. That is Manny Machado's calves.
Yeah. That is 100%. Hold on, wait. The OCD in me wants it centered. Yeah. No, that is Manny in a different physical form.
Totally worth the wait, people. Totally worth the wait.
Well, if we didn't lose you like we just lost about 70 people in the chat, Dodgers are going to take 2 or 3 in this series. They better sweep, but I feel pretty good about them taking 2 of 3. John is asking if anybody's going to the game this weekend. Richie is going to the game, and John is laughing at the idea of Gilmore Girls.
Somebody in the Discord said he's going there too. Oso, maybe?
Oh, yeah. I think it was.
Oso's going to be there.
Yeah. If you guys are at the game, send some photos, send video of yourself being arrested on Discord. Hang out with us, hang out with your friends. But guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us here on this Thursday.
Doug Davis is back. Hey, Doug, go watch Gilmore Girls.
Doug, make sure you watch Gilmore Girls. And it's also kind of sad that this fool just waited around for his timeout to end.
He couldn't wait to get back and copy and paste the same exact message that he's done 8,000 times in 8 million podcasts over the last 3 weeks.
Doug, do you not have friends? And that's not the first time I've said that exact expression. Doug, do you not have friends?
Doug Davis, not Doug Payne. Doug Payne has friends, and they're all of us. Because Doug is new here. He's one of us now.
Yeah. One of us. He totally loves Gilmore Girls, as we all do. But Dodgers Take 2 or 3, that's all I got, guys. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of whatever this show was.
And as the Golden Girls said, thank you for being a friend.
No, that one's better. Now, if you're talking Golden Girls, I would be about that. Actually, that probably
nobody ever took their shirt off on Golden Girls. Thank
God. Post game tomorrow with I think it's me and Kevin. Post game Saturday with Jeff and Kevin, and then the boys will be back together on Sunday. Hopefully, a happy post game on Sunday. Hopefully, a Dodgers sweep. Reminder for anybody that is a member or a Patreon supporter: we're having our first members only live stream next Thursday, August 28th. Everything goes within reason. I guess. I don't know. But yeah, come hang out with us there. If you are looking on how to do that with the Patreon, scan that QR code. Go to patreon.com/realfrg. Click the join button here on YouTube. Different way to support the show with your money if you are so inclined and are able. If you are unable, the best way to support the show in reality is hitting that like button, sharing the show, subscribing, all of that kind of stuff. Diane doing the Lord's work and kicking out Doug Davis or whatever his name was. Doug Davis was a pitcher. This
is him too. That's this guy's name.
All right.
Yeah, maybe it's the same guy.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, good on him. But we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Manny Machado will be headless after this weekend. We'll see you on the next one.
Go listen to Indigo Girls' song called Chicken Man in honor of Manny Machado. Bye.
Wait, Dr. B. I mean Betty White, though. And that one, bye.